Welcome to another show on Gigi's Talk. This time I have a special guest, and her name is Vineeta Sinha. She had been through a tough journey to realize that actually it can be made very simple just by adjusting or looking after one thing, that is food. How food influences you in your productivity, and how food can be a great source of inspiration for your life can be learned from the life of Vineeta Sinha. Let's see what she has to share with us. So, welcome Vineeta. I would like you to introduce yourself and tell us why you do what you're doing.
Thank you, Geetha. Thank you so much for a warm welcome. Over here, I would like to share my own story, how I got started on this journey. So, actually, I had my husband who had high levels of diabetes, and I lost him due to this chronic disease, which ended up with kidney failure, liver failure, and heart failure. So, multiple organs failure. Of course, he survived after the kidney failure for around 3 to 4 years over dialysis, but ultimately the other organs also got spoiled and he passed away. So after he left, even I developed diabetes. So then I thought that I will not walk the same route which my husband had walked. So I looked out for alternative treatments, and thereby I found someone, a coach, who actually helped me with my food corrections and my lifestyle corrections. And then that is how I reversed my HbA1c from 11 to 5.4, which is a normal range, and that happened within a span of only 4 to 5 months. And astonishingly, I also reversed blood pressure, hypertension, as well as thyroid. My thyroid was around 23 years old, but today I am free from medicines for all these three lifestyle diseases. So that is something that actually inspired me, and I started walking this journey and helping other people walk this journey. So that's how I'm here in this field.
Great, Vineeta. But can I know how long had your journey been with this thing?
My diabetes was around 4 to 5 years old. My hypertension was also the similar, but 23 years old was the thyroid. So the kind of time that it took me to reverse everything to normal was around 1.5 years. But my readings got reversed within 4 to 5 months. But then I had to maintain it and have a sustained effort, a sustained reading. So that is why I continued with this journey, so that the root cause was addressed, the appropriate food and whatever was needed for the body to recover and rejuvenate. So I gave it around 1.5 years, and that's how today I am off medicine.
In our country today, the biggest problem with our youngsters and even adults is obesity. One. The
Yes.
second is the rising numbers in heart issues and kidney issues
Yes.
that we are seeing. After COVID, we have seen a great number rise in cancer patients as well. So even I had the journey of it. So I can understand how much food influences the way we live our life. And we should be conscious about
Yes.
what we put into our mouth. It is not just for pleasure,
Yes.
a basic requirement that we need to be alive, and we should be very super cautious of what we are
Yes.
putting into our mouth. So as you said, your journey
Yes.
with food started when you encountered a health issue and you didn't want to continue the journey that your husband had, because so much of pain that you had underwent through that process, you didn't want to go through it, relive it again. So how did you come
Yes.
to know about this alternative kind of thing with food?
I actually challenged my doctor. My doctor said that you will have to take insulin because I had very high levels of sugar. So I challenged my doctor. I told him, I will come back to you within a few months to ask you to reduce my dosage of medicines. So that's how I did. And alternatively, I started looking out for some treatments which could be helped through food, because food is the medicine. So we should be understanding that, take medicine as food, so that will definitely help. Why these issues come up is because of some nutrition gaps in our body. The fruits and vegetables also that we get in our fridge, it takes around 4 to 5 days to arrive at our fridge, and you can understand the loss of nutrition that happens during these 4 5 days. from the harvesting to coming to the fridge, the journey that the fruit and vegetables take, we lose the nutrition. And then the way we cook is also a major thing that actually destroys the nutrition. So to restore and everything, to understand the value of nutrition, the value of phytonutrients, the value of the minerals and the vitamins that we get from our food, is something that was actually taught to me, and that is how I learned. And that is what I started focusing on, and giving my body appropriate food in appropriate proportions and portion sizes, and with the number of meals that I should be having, what should be the period gap between the two meals. All these things, these are basic things that our grandparents would have actually been doing, because they never faced these lifestyle issues and disorders. It is we who say that, we are having a very fast life, we are having a very busy life, and that's how these problems are coming, because we have gone away from the nature. We have actually driven ourselves far apart from the nature, and we have started taking things which are either semi processed or processed foods, or artificial foods, artificial colors, artificial flavors. We feel that, oh, we are having a very good food, we are having very because they are expensive foods, the good looking foods, so they are very good for us, and we say that we are maintaining our status of life, but actually it is not.
So you mean that by cutting down on processed food, on cutting down on the portion of the food, on cutting down
Hmm.
on the carbohydrates and fats that we have, could
Hmm.
actually help us, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So, Vinita,
Hmm.
according to you, what should be an ideal diet for say, an adult of about 20, 30 years?
See, the kind of diet that we should be having is something like, balanced meal. What we
Mhm.
call a balanced meal is like you have 50% of fiber in your food, 30% of protein in your food, and 10% of carbohydrates and 10% of good fat. That forms the complete balance of the food. So how will you get all these kinds of things? That also needs to be thought about, and you should mindfully think that what should be there in the fiber content that you're having, what should be there in the carbs that you're having. With related to carbs, there are you find so much of gluten in so many things. The five white foods that I always say that you should be avoiding. So the maida is one of them. White rice is also one of them. So these are some of these whites. If we avoid in our food, we will definitely be very close to our nature and very close to what our body actually needs. Why do we eat food actually? That is something we should be questioning ourselves. Does our life need food to live? So that is something we should be questioning ourselves.
So, what you actually mean to say is that food should give us the energy to live our life,
Yes,
not take
yes,
away the life that we have. You
yes,
should not
yes,
overdo it, right? So,
yes,
one more
yes.
thing I wanted to ask is there is a revolution called the green eating going on.
Hmm.
There is a community which believes that if you eat food raw as much as
Mm-hmm.
possible, then
Hmm.
the amount of diseases that you get will be less. Do you confirm with that?
Yes, yes, definitely. The kind of food content that should be there in our plate should be around 50% of fiber. Why? Because the fiber should be coming from the raw food. Why
Mhm.
raw food? Because all the raw food are have different colors. If you consider salads also, which we cut and eat in our plates, we I always advise that you should be eating the rainbow. Eat the colors. Why colors? Because each color has an antioxidant,
Mhm.
and if you cook these foods, actually you lose the phytonutrients.
Okay.
So it is always good to have the phytonutrients raw in your food. If you can eat the kheera, if you can eat the capsicums, there are three colors. There is the cabbage which comes in purple colors. There are so many other vegetables that can be eaten raw. And the best thing that I did in my course correction, well, to reverse my diabetes and lifestyle diseases, was I actually had one meal completely raw, which
Okay.
means eating all the seven colors of vegetables, eating them raw. That
Okay.
actually helps a lot, because there is inflammation in the body. When you have the inflammation on the outer part of your body, on the skin or somewhere, you put a powder or a cream to heal it. But if the inflammation is inside the body and it needs phytonutrients, what do? You can't take a brush or anything to clean it inside. You have to heal it with food and with colors.
So you mean to say that one of our meal should be completely raw? Is it okay with the other meals
Yes.
if it is cooked?
Yes, the other meals, if you have cooked meals, but still, I advise that you should have at least one bowl, 150 ml bowl kind of a thing that is raw. Even if you're partying out, you try and balance it out with raw vegetables. If you know that you're not going to get any salads or anything there, maybe you have a salad, full plate of salad at home and go. So that also actually helps you reduce to cut down the cooked food and oily and greasy food that you will be having outside, because
Mhm.
your stomach is already satiated with what you have eaten at home. So, and you are not missing out on any social gatherings or events also. So that is how you need to balance. So what it is to be done is, it should be a mindful eating. That is what I stress, that mindful eating with the right kind of food to be eaten and the right proportion to be eaten. That is required.
As you know, I also experimented with food when I was not well during the last 1.5 years. And
Mm-hmm.
I also found that when you
Mm.
eat salads before your meal, it helps in your digestion, and there is an overall health benefit that
Yes,
is definitely there. I have seen it for myself, I have
yes.
seen it in my family, and I know the power that food holds in our lives. But what we did
Mm.
was, I and my mother in law and the family members, what we do is we have a bowl of salad first, and then we have the
Mm.
protein, and then we go to the
Mm.
carbohydrates. This is one thing
Yes,
that I had followed in my family and with myself. Do you suggest
very
that?
good. Yeah. Yes, I would like to say that whenever, because even I do consultations and I help people reverse their lifestyle diseases. So whoever comes to me for, getting their diseases reversed, that is the kind of sequence I advise them to take. That, because as when I said 50% of fiber, I meant 50% of your food should be only salads,
Mhm.
because salads will give you fiber that will actually help to slow down the metabolism and actually absorption of sugar in your blood from the other foods that you're taking. So fiber should be enough in your food. That is the fiber. Then I advise the second thing that you should be taking is protein. So protein could be anything. It could be lentils or any kind of dal, pulses, anything. So that amounts to protein. Then the third thing that I stress is you should have good fat. Good fat, I always advise that you should have before carbs, before you're having carbs. So what I do is I tell them to have ghee, 10 gram of ghee or organic ghee in your dal or in your vegetables. Have it before you start carbs. Go to carbs last, because that is the culprit actually, which actually releases a lot of sugar immediately, and that actually causes the sugar to remain in the blood. So once you have eaten the raw salads, then the protein, then the good fat along with it, then you go to carbs, or automatically you will feel full and your carb intake will be less. But it does not mean that you have to minus all the carbs in your food. That is also not advisable. You should definitely have carbs also in your food. Of course, very less portion size, but definitely you should be having carbs. So that is the kind of advice that I give to my clients, that this is how you should be having your food. The sequence of having each and every item. And also I try to tell them that you should not be having roti, which is in North India or South India, whatever it is. It is actually gluten. So
Mhm.
not to have that along with rice, because gluten is anyway a harmful thing, which is going to harm whatever corrective actions you're taking, gluten is going to nullify it. So try to avoid gluten. So that's how I
So you
advise
do
my
not
people.
advise taking the chapati or bread or roti along with rice, is it?
Yes, yes, yes,
You can
yes.
have it independently, but not together.
Independently, you can have it. Yeah. And instead of having wheat, because wheat is the main culprit that has a lot of gluten, so to if you can replace that with jawar, bajra, or millets, that then it is helpful. But also, millets also is not suitable for everyone. So
Okay.
what I advise is, as per the blood test reports, as per the diseases that a person has, I advise them which millets you should be taking or which one not. So it
Okay.
depends. So ragi, different. There are different kinds of millets, but bajra and jawar can be eaten instead of wheat. That is
Okay.
definitely there.
Is it also
Hmm.
because, Vinita, I have read somewhere that wheat has been so much modified over the years for their
Yes.
production that nothing actually worthwhile is left in it now. Is
Yes,
that the
yes,
cause?
you are right. I have gone through this research, and that is why I advise this, because
Okay.
it's been now genetically modified. The original wheat that used to be there is no longer that original wheat. It is modified in such a way that it has more of gluten now, so it has a destroying effect.
Okay.
So if you want to have that original wheat, it is available in the name of khapli wheat. You
Khapli wheat.
might have seen khapli wheat being, khapli wheat, which is coming up. So that is advisable. That is exactly the same kind of texture of roti that you will get, but it is expensive. Like wheat being 40 rupees a kg, you can get a nata, but khapli you will get for 180 or 200 rupees per kg. So that
Hmm.
is the kind of difference. But there is quality, and it is original. It is not at all modified. So that
Okay.
is safe to take.
So
Yeah.
you advise rather than taking flour from normal wheat, it would be better if you can incorporate khapli wheat.
Yes, yes. Instead
Okay.
of having wheat roti, you can have khapli wheat roti. That
Okay.
is better.
Okay. And
Hmm.
for non-vegetarians, Vinita, that I have seen that many of our viewers might not be vegetarians. They might be non-vegetarians.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they
Yes.
incorporate these things in their food?
See, for non-vegetarians, even I am a non-vegetarian. So what happens is, the non-vegetarian items like fish or whatever, mutton, chicken, whatever that we have in India, and apart from that also, whatever items are there, they are rich in protein. So you can definitely have that. So in India, we can replace it with legumes and dals and pulses, which can be replaced with non-veg items. So non-veg items would account to protein intake. But there is a but there, that if you're having one portion size of protein, you should have equivalent to two sizes of fiber, which means raw salads along with it for digestion. Because otherwise, the protein does not get digested. For effective digestion and metabolism and absorption in the body, you should have at least two bowls of uh, salads to be taken first, then
Mhm.
have the protein,
Okay.
which could come in terms of vegetarian in India or non-vegetarian in India as well as outside. So that's the
So,
kind of proportion size.
so as a coach, working with nutrition and reversing people's health for better, you suggest that fiber is something that is non-negotiable. 50% of
Yes,
your food should have fiber in it.
fiber,
Is it
fiber. Yes,
advisable for
yes.
young children also?
Yes, it is. Because in the course of my practice, I've seen that there was a child who had come to us for some issues with immunity.
Okay.
Right from the beginning of his age, when he started going to the school, he was facing these wheezing, sneezing problems, and also pain in the ears, and then also with eyesight issues right from the beginning. So that the parents came to us saying that, we've been trying to give him so many medicines and he's been missing school and all. So what we started doing was, we actually did the same thing that as we do for the adults, the same kind of food pattern we started with the child. And the other thing, we advised him to not to give milk to the child, because milk is also one of the culprits today.
Mhm.
Because you don't get the grass fed cow's milk. You're
Okay.
not getting that. What you're getting in packaged and all those milk that you're getting is actually steroids milk. So ultimately, because Those animals are being injected with steroids for overproduction of milk. So what is happening? Ultimately, overproduction is happening. But what you are giving to the child, कि ये अमृत है बच्चे के लिए, it is not. You are actually feeding the steroids in your child as well as to yourselves
Okay.
unknowingly. Of
Okay.
course, no one would do this knowingly, but the milk that is coming, the dairy products, all the dairy products, we tell the people to avoid.
Okay.
Paneer, dahi, everything, milk, which is coming from the dairy side. Yeah. So what is the replacement? The replacement is the soya milk, the almond milk, if you can get that. You replace it with these kinds of milk. And if you can make it at home, nothing like it. That's the best thing that you could do. So that's and we avoided all these foods for that child, and the child today is perfectly fine, happily enjoying and growing. So I've seen those results with PCOD patients. Definitely, first of all I cut down all the milk and dairy products and the gluten. That's how I treat them. And apart from that, whatever the gap filling nutrition is required, I do that with some supplements, with some organic supplements, and that's how people get cured.
Okay.
The
So with
idea is to cure it, because if the cells have got degenerated, every cell needs 3 months to repair and rejuvenate. So at least you need to give 3 to 4 months to rejuvenate, and then your body is back to normal. Then you can function properly. You can stop everything that you have been taking, all the supplements and everything. But start the kind of food that I have taught you to take. So just keep on taking. That will be sustainable.
So, Vinita, you are saying that the white things, be it milk,
Yes.
be it curd,
Hmm.
be it
Hmm.
what is it, paneer, sugar,
Yes.
white flour,
Yes.
you are
Yes.
saying that how much we can avoid the white things from our life, life would be much more happier. Is it?
Yes.
Can you summarize what you want to say, convey as a message to all the audience out there?
Geeta, I would just like to say that, we should be very mindful of what we are eating, and also balance out the proportion sizes of all the portion size of all the food intake that we need to take. For example, protein, how much we need to take. Fiber should be there, at least 50%. Protein should be in a proportion of 30%. You should have carbs to the minimal at 10%. 10% of ghee should always be there. And you should have variety of vegetables, colorful vegetables. Your plate should look colorful, like a rainbow. That is the key to health, good health. And this will actually help you reverse your lifestyle diseases,
Mhm.
because all the colors are having a rich source of antioxidants and phytonutrients, which is definitely required by our body to reduce the inflammation inside and also to reverse the lifestyle disease. So that is the main thing that we should do.
So, as we end this session, thank you, Vinita, for joining us. And to the audience out there, if you have any queries related to how you should go about with a diet that suits you, or any doubt about the food intake that you need to take, you can always contact Vinita. Her details would be given in the description box below. And anyone looking out for an emotional intelligence coach, I'm there. So you can reach out to me as well. My details are also there in the description box. I would also love the audience to connect with us and tell us what you want to see on my show so that I can bring the correct kind of coaches and mentors to you and bring out the valuable lessons they have to give for you. Thank you, Vinita, once again.